A few days ago, we just got news that shook the very foundations of the Honkai Star Rail community. Because Tingyun has returned with glorious and majestic drip in her drip marketing. This is a bit of a new style of video for me. You're probably watching Zenless Zone Zero gameplay right now, but that's because I'm gonna be talking about what Tingyun's return really means for the game. And her trailer hasn't dropped yet, so I don't really have anything to work with here. But that's besides the point, because I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that our lovely Miss Floofy Tail is alive, but the bad news is complicated. Yes, all I need is a path and a splash art and my brain starts churning out theories. So let's get into this, shall we? The longer this game goes on, the more I get proven right about my main theory that has since aged like fine wine. You know how Brawny and Silverwolf exist in the same universe and March also has two different versions now? The Honkai effect is in full swing, guys. It is in full swing. We are about to get all these different versions of all these different characters and things are gonna go off the rails quick. And they are going off the rails because we have Fugue, which brings me to my first point. Remember that dialogue that she had at the end of the story with Ruan Mei?
Do you remember your name?
My name is Tingyun. I serve as an ambassador of the Whistling Flames Merchant Guild on the Xianzhou Lufu.
You see, we never knew the real Tingyun. From the moment we met her, Phantilia had been masquerading as her the entire time. The real Tingyun is a merchant and was traveling and going about her business the entire time. Which means she never at any point met us, but we kinda met her. So her real personality is going to be very similar, if not identical to the Tingyun we know. But don't be surprised if she doesn't know us at all. Even though we attended her funeral and shot her belongings into space, but besides that, here's the major point that has me concerned. When Ruan Mei spoke to her, she asked her if she remembered her name, which insinuates that whatever happened when her ship wrecked severely injured her and quite possibly knocked her into a coma that caused memory loss. Even though Tingyun was able to recall her name, occupation, and home, she did hesitate. Now, this could be because of her injury sustained in the Starskip incident, but there is one thing that makes me think otherwise, and that's the name Fugue. Yes, it's pronounced Fugue. Now, despite the way this looks, this is not a Xianzhou name. Xianzhou names are always Chinese, and even though Fu is a Chinese word, G-U-E is not. G-U, then E could be, which would make it Fugu-e, but they also space out the Chinese names like in Jing Yuan and Fu Xuan, so it wouldn't be put this way in one word. So her name is Fugue, and when I looked into what this word means, it really worries me. You see, Fugue has two different definitions, both of which can apply to her new version. The first is a musical technique where the main melody is taken up by different instruments, all adding their own little twists on the melody's pattern. Now, this can apply to her being the main melody as the original Tingyun, and Phantilia, the Heliobus, being an instrument copying her that added its own twist. Which sounds fine to me, but the second definition are where things get scary. In psychology, fugue means a state or period of loss of awareness of one's identity, often coupled with flight from one's usual environment, associated with certain forms of hysteria and epilepsy, which is caused by severe trauma or extreme stress. And this is the definition that seems the most accurate to me, because if she suffers from the loss of awareness of her own identity, that would explain why Ruan Mei was asking her if she could remember, and why this was the part that Hoyo decided to show, because they could have had her say anything and had any interaction, but they chose to show this one. We all know her voice all too well after all. She's also looking at an image of herself in the mirror and looks very puzzled or unnerved with it, almost as if she doesn't remember. Remember, Phantilia copies appearances, meaning that she did wear this outfit at some point, and she should recognize an outfit that she's worn before, which also supports her having memory loss and identity loss issues. And you guys already know that I believe that a character's in-game path reflects reflects an aspect of their life, and I'm currently working on a series about it. So at this point, I can already see why Fugue State Tingyun is Nihility, because the Aeon of Nihility IX does not know what it is or even that it exists, and its influence can erase memories like we've seen with Acheron. This theming aligns perfectly with Fugue State Tingyun, and that would really make me sad if that's what has become of our friend that we've never actually met. But to end on a positive note, at least she's still alive and we'll get to meet the real her this time. Also, I've got some strange intel from the Enigmata that has told me that her abilities put tails on people, which means we'll finally be able to give Fei Xiao the tail she deserves. And that is Tingyun's return explained. But what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, y'all. Jiao Cho lost his eyesight, then his role, and his element. Man, they took everything from this guy.